Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 17th. We're just going to jump right in here, Aquarius, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. We're not going to label these rows anything. I'm just going to go through kind of like a general spread, and then we're going to actually clarify with the after tarot. So it's going to be kind of like a present, future type of thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes here, Aquarius. But let's see here. You have this heart card. It says love, new love. So there could be new love coming in for you. But I also think it's interesting that pretty much every single person that I've been reading for has had some cards of like following your heart or listening to your heart or needing to do more heart-based things. It kind of reminds me of like Nine of Cups energy, for example. With the Nine of Cups, we have to bathe in an energy before we can have something, basically. So it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter if it's love, money, or otherwise. We kind of have to like soak up the energy, and I'm definitely getting that here for you. You start off with this truth card. I feel like something wants to come out here. You know what's funny is like I don't even know if it's the truth. I'm not saying someone's lying to you either. I just think something wants to come out. This could be something that you're going to express. Like I feel whatever this is, it's coming from you. Maybe you want to, again, you have the star here, which is your card, but maybe you want to, kind of like express something, put it out into the world. Maybe you have a YouTube channel, or maybe you want to create something. And I kind of that's really honestly what I get here, just something about, expression. I'm looking for, you have the Emperor here. For some reason, I thought you also had the Empress, probably because it's on the bottom of this deck here, but we'll look into it. You have the Emperor, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Strength card. Again, you've been working towards something. I'm wondering if you feel like you're not prepared, or if you've been trying to prepare to get ready to, put something out into the world, like your career or, a business or something you've been working on for a long time. I also feel, for those of you looking for love, that there could be a fire sign coming in for you. You have this card, you have the Emperor as well. Could be an Aries, could be a Leo, but, take it how it resonates. But I feel like you've been patient. You have the Knight of Pentacles as well, and I'm just going to show you on the table. It's pretty interesting that he's pointing, he's kind of going towards the Queen of Pentacles here. The Knight of Pentacles can represent needing to get to work. You can see that he's standing here, and he's the only knight in the tarot where he's not moving. The horse isn't moving, he's not moving, he's not planting seeds or anything like that. So I feel for a lot of you, this is saying that it's time to start planting seeds. It's time to start doing the things that you want to do in your life, and you're ready. That Queen of Pentacles is really what tells me you're ready, because she's like the card of resourcefulness. She represents being resourceful and having the resources necessary to do what you want. And again, you have the Emperor here. The Emperor is about taking action. And quite simply here, Aquarius, if we go this direction, you go Emperor, Queen of Pentacles to the Three of Cups. It's like literally saying that taking an action is going to lead to happiness and success. It's also interesting that top row, the Magician can represent needing to get started. Look what he's pointing at, the Chariot. Like time to go. And the Ace of Pentacles, time for a new beginning. So this whole entire reading is kind of saying that you're getting ready to express something to the world. That's kind of like what I feel. With the Emperor here, you have the Five of Cups. A lot of Five of Cups energy, a lot of Eight of Cups energy showing up lately. And you have the Eight of Cups here as well. I feel pretty much all of us, pretty much everyone is just turning away from pretty much anything that no longer serves you. It doesn't have to be love either. It could just be things that you've lost your taste for. He's lost his taste for wine here, and he needs to kind of look at these two cups. He needs to stop having a pity party, because as I always say, when he sees those cups, he gets the bridge and the castle that are also on the card. So he's not just getting two cups. And again, I feel like it's time for you to take action, right? With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Knight, of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups. What are you waiting for? King of Cups, again, some of you could be walking away from a water sign here. But the other interesting thing is that what I'm wondering is if you're walking away from your emotions. Like he's spilling this cup out. So it's like, are you ignoring something that your heart is telling you to do? And again, this doesn't have to do with love. You have, there's not very much love here in this reading, except for that heart card, right? So, this probably is about business or something that you want to work on. Are you doing what your heart is telling you to do? You know, and I'll just tell you, it's like, I'm an Aquarius rising, and even I've noticed, like, I've let a bunch of things go, which shows up here for you, Aquarius. I definitely have a lot of Aquarian energy personally in my chart, but, I've definitely let things go. The other thing that's interesting that I would say, not to just talk about myself here, but, it's like, I started that podcast, and then I stopped doing the podcast because it's like the way I was doing it, heart wasn't really in it, right? Not really feeling it, right? So I took a pause, and I said, how can I make this something that I want to do? Because, like, I wanted to do it enough that I want to do it, but the way I was doing it wasn't enough, right? The way. So, and again, I'm not talking to you about this just to talk about myself. I'm talking to you about this because, I feel there might be some things in your life where it's like, maybe, is it just the way that you're doing something that you don't like, and maybe coming up with a solution or trying something different is going to lead to success? That's the best way I can express the energy that is going on here. With the Strength card, you have the Moon card. Again, the Moon card really says don't come back down the path. You need to go to the mountains in the background here. And I also feel like you need to make sure not to let your emotions get the best of you. The Strength card says you've come so far. Like, I really feel the Strength card is saying you've done a lot of work. The thing with the Strength card is it kind of represents doing work on yourself day in, day out. And this to me is saying kind of like, don't turn around. Don't stop before the finish line. The moon in the after tarot here, that's kind of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like getting to a finish line, and because the end, there are mountains, right, at the end of the moon card, maybe you're thinking like, oh my God, like another obstacle to overcome, or I have to, kind of climb this mountain again. And it's funny, I was talking to my brother. It took me basically like, I don't know, like 6-7 years to get this channel to where it is, right? And I was stuck for a really long time with this channel not growing. And I was talking about the podcast. I'm like, you know what, really, even if it takes me 7 years to build it, guess what? And as one of my favorite people of all time says, Brian Tracy, he says 5 years, but let's say it takes 7 years. In 7 years, it's going to be 7 years anyway. Like, the time is going to have passed. So it's like, do I want something in 7 years that I worked on for a long time? Or if I do nothing, if I just give up, then it'll be nothing, right? And I get that feeling for you here, Aquarius, where it's like saying, yeah, maybe there's another mountain to climb. It's not going to take you 7 years, by the way, because you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Star, the Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot, like definitely a victory coming in for you here. But you have the Magician, and I kind of feel like that Magician is saying there's some things that need to be learned. And again, I feel like even if it takes you 7 years, which I don't think it's going to, it's like you're going to learn a lot. But something needs to be expressed here. You have this communication card. You could be literally communicating with a person. And it could be like a business person. You have the Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. So there could be communication coming in for you here. For some of you, you could be thinking about a past person, Eight of Cups, Three of Cups, but I don't know. It looks, to me, I feel like you're very focused on new beginnings. You have the Magician and the Chariot. So I feel that you're kind of like more focused on new beginnings if you think communication is coming in. You have sorry, wrong camera. Oh, wait, there we go. You have the Ten of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. Ten of Pentacles, of course, is a card of everything you want in your life. It's the tree of life. It represents everything you want in your life, represents getting everything you want in your life. So I feel there's a lot of success coming in for you here, Aquarius, with this Ten of Pentacles. I also feel like you're doing a lot of work. And to me, this is just saying that there are going to be results, plain and simple. If you want love, by the way, I mean, to me, Ten of Pentacles is the best love card in the deck. It represents like everything you want and desire to have in a relationship. It's like the home, the family, and everything else. So I kind of feel like this is everything coming in for you, if you want it. Next, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness, and with the Magician here as well, I definitely feel that you're going to have to be resourceful. Here's the other thing, is that, I believe personally that as a collective, we're getting to this point where it's like we've had a bunch of experiences. It's like, what, I've been encouraging people to look at the good things, the bad things that have happened. And it's like, what did you learn from each one of those experiences? The Magician can say there's like gold in the challenges, but also the good things that you've been through as well. There might be some like advice, some techniques, some tactics, some things that you've learned. And by kind of clarifying that information and saying like, what have I learned from past challenging relationships? Sorry, I moved my microphone and I just wanted to make sure it's actually still recording. It is, thank God. Yeah, but again, it's like, what things from the past have I learned? That's what I mean by resources. It doesn't have to be financial with the Queen of Pentacles. It can be things that you can use to be successful. You have the Eight of Cups here, eclipse right here. We're entering into eclipse season, so wouldn't surprise me if some of you were eclipsing something out of your life, or You know, something could be coming back as well. You know, that's the thing with eclipses is that I think people forget sometimes things come back into our life, but not as in people. It's usually like an idea or we're revisiting something that we went through like a while ago. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Four Wands. So again, if you want marriage, pretty good. Another card of a finish line. It's funny that I said that on the Moon card. You know, to me, the Four Wands, there's this like finish line right here. So to me, it can represent crossing through a portal. You know, this is like a doorway right here. And those people are celebrating on the other side of the doorway. So I feel for some of you, this is like encouraging you to have a celebration or encouraging you to go through a celebration or celebrate something. I also feel it's saying, you know, again, I kind of feel like this is saying this is what's at the end of the Moon card for you. You could also, with the Eight of Cups here, when I have those two next to each other like this right here, to me, this represents maybe entering or being, I kind of feel like you're already in a moon period, meaning that you're in a period where you could be experiencing mysteries, you could be uncertain about certain things, but I would just keep moving forward because, again, look at this, you know, going to the Star to the Ace of Pentacles, that looks pretty good to me. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles here. Very busy. I would stay focused. Again, everybody's had like some sort of message of really needing to make sure that you're focusing on doing one thing at a time. So that's what I would do with the Three of Pentacles. I would make sure that like in work and business and other areas of your life that you're kind of focusing on just doing one thing at a time with this energy. I get too much like spinning plates energy. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Eight of Cups. If someone walked away from you, I feel like there's someone coming in right behind you here. This is pretty crazy. So I like the way this looks. But I do feel this is a new person. You have too much newness here. Again, Magician, also the Chariot, the Ace of Pentacles. These would be new opportunities. So, you know, I would say love-wise, it's like someone spilt out your cup in the past. With the King of Cups, maybe they weren't emotionally invested here. They could have been juggling as well with that Two of Pentacles. But I feel like you're on to a new beginning, obviously, because you also have this heart card that says love, new love on it. So I feel there could be like a new person coming in for you here. It's kind of interesting how they're popping into my head. They're popping into my head as more being in like a support role. You know, it's interesting. It's like sometimes I think we can, you know, get with people and maybe, you know, we meet them at work. So they kind of like do the same work that we do. You know, I would consider that like a parallel path where it's like maybe you meet a person where you do the same thing or, you know, maybe you have similar experiences or whatever. It feels different to me. It like, again, I would consider this a support role, meaning that the person coming in is probably going to be very supportive. I don't think, I don't know, it just feels different. That's the best way I could describe it to you, Aquarius. So I hope that makes sense. You have the Magician, the Star, and the Three of Cups. Definitely a celebration coming for you. Again, Four of Wands, Three of Cups. Probably a lot of reasons to celebrate. I also feel there's a lot of support coming from family. Sometimes I feel with the Three of Cups that it can just represent support coming from family or it can represent us, you know, spending more time with family or whatever. So definitely like to see that. You have the Star card. So again, some of you could be healing from this, like if you had an Eight of Cups situation where someone walked away or, you know, things didn't work out or whatever. This is your energy. So you're coming up in a very strong position. You know, I'm getting the words, the universe sees everything. So, you know, I feel like some of you could be like worried about things like, you know, even if we go this direction right here, you have the Four Wands with the Ten of Pentacles. I think this is maybe if a person walked away from you, you thought you were going to marry or be with this person. Going down to the Hierophant here, those are the words that are popping to my head. The universe sees everything. I'm wondering if you're like worrying that this person's like talking behind your back or whatever. I almost feel like you feel this person, it's like, what do I feel here, Aquarius? If this is a person that you're dealing with in the past, I almost feel like that you just feel like they're just like poo-pooing the relationship that you have with them. Like maybe you see them posting things on social media or whatever, and maybe you're like, what the hell? Like, you know, I feel like you're feeling like they're saying like this past person, I don't know, it's a crazy message I'm getting. It's just saying like, F that, it meant nothing to me. Like I feel you could be taking something hard. That might only be for some of you here. But again, I feel like the universe sees everything. So I feel like the universe knows like the work and the energy and the time and the effort. Maybe that's what you're worried about, right? If you're being triggered by, you know, something you're seeing in an X post or something like that, maybe you're just being triggered. You know, maybe it's not real. Maybe you're making things up in your head about the situation, but I also feel the universe is going to take care of you. You have the Magician. So the Magician is definitely a new beginning or starting something new. And again, I get something about the tools, like, but it's popping into my head as like the things that you have learned that you from what you have been through. And I feel you need to pay attention to that because these tools are going to make you very successful in the future. It's like I always like to tell people, talking about the 7-year thing, right? That in 7 years, it's going to be 7 years anyway. It's like I already have years of experience and I already had to learn a bunch of tools, right? A bunch of things about YouTube. So it's like now when I do the podcast, probably not going to take me 7 years. Probably going to take me much less than half the time, probably, because again, of everything I've learned. So, and again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because I feel you have a bunch of skills, talents, gifts, skills, and abilities in all areas of your life. Love, money, business, everywhere. And I feel you need to kind of not sell yourself short here. With the Magician, you have the 5 Wands. I mean, literally what I said. I always say on the 5 Wands that they're not fighting. They're training. They're learning how to fight. And look, they're all sitting around. So I feel a lot of you have learned a lot. And I sometimes call the 5 Wands Indiana Jones because to me, you can say that you've been on a crazy adventure, but you're about to find your treasure. And, this is the after tarot. So I feel like there's some treasure coming in for you here. With the Star card, you have the Queen of Swords here. I like this quite a bit. Like, see how she's looking up at that butterfly on the end of her sword? I feel for some of you, you're starting to notice like the happy things in life, or you're starting to notice things that bring you a lot of happiness just in general. So I really like that. With the 3 of Cups, you have the 5 of Swords. I feel like you're going to be victorious. Again, if you're worried about someone like, posting about you or whatever, again, I feel there's like some sort of victory here. I almost wonder if this person's thinking the same thing here, Aquarius, which is interesting. It's like they could be actually the one that is projecting. And again, Mars retrograde, right? I wouldn't be having any jealous reactions or anything like that because, Mars retrograde, never a good time to do those things is what I would say. Plain and simple. Next, you have this ostentation card and this influence card. So I would be careful of like showy people in relationships in general. I do feel for some of you like a person could have been influenced away from your relationship in the first place. So, that could be what you're dealing with. But again, just in general, I feel this is saying, don't show off at this time, but also be careful of show-offs is what I would say. I think it's, there's like a wrestler, Ultimate Warrior, right? He says, well, he's dead, but, rip. But what I would say here is that he always says, it's better to, he says, don't instruct people, inspire people. And that's the name of the game for you, Aquarius. We're literally entering into the age of Aquarius. You have a star. I keep saying you have to be your own little star. You have to inspire people, right? And that's what I'd be doing here. Anything you can do. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant twice in this row. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for love, that like your next person is probably the person you're going to marry. I feel like this person like goes by the book too. He's holding that book, but it's kind of popping into my head that like I feel like this person just follows the rules of relationships, plain and simple. So looks pretty good to me. Again, I also get this feeling, wait, did we even go over these cards, by the way? I think I totally skipped that. So we're going to keep that Hierophant off to the side. But you have the Ace of Pentacles, definitely a new beginning coming in for you here. I feel like someone wants to offer you something, probably marriage, with that Hierophant clarifying early. But, I would also say, guess what? There are some mountains right here, and we were talking about the mountains on the Moon card. So I feel like you have to climb these mountains because there's going to be a lot of success coming in for you. Next, you have the Chariot. I feel like some of you, it wouldn't really surprise me if you were traveling quite a bit over the next, several years. You might be saying, I have no plans to travel. But what I would say is, don't be surprised. Mark my words. Come back to this video, over the next, 5 years. It wouldn't really surprise me based off your astrology if all of a sudden you start traveling or if you move long distance or, something like that, Aquarius. Just wouldn't surprise me with the Chariot card. You have the Hierophant again here as well. And again, I keep getting just the universe sees everything. So we might have to take a look and see what the hell does the universe see. With the Ace of Pentacles, we already got the Hierophant. With the Chariot, you have the 4 of Cups. Yeah, I really feel like you shouldn't give up on anything at this time. Everybody has been getting the 4 Cups, and I just think it's Neptune and Pisces. If I had one thing to blame, I always blame Neptune and Pisces because Neptune and Pisces is like manifestation on steroids. We actually can manifest things, whatever we want, very, very quickly. But again, I always say the 4 Cups is like manifesting the ingredients. If you're trying to bake a cake, maybe you're manifesting the flour, the sugar, the eggs, but you have to mix everything together with the 4 Cups. It's and I think that's maybe what's getting people caught up with their manifestations is that you're not actually getting the thing you want. But the ingredients, people always ask for examples of the ingredients as well. Usually it's inspirations. You might just feel inspired to do something, and it could be anything. Could be to go for a walk. Could be to go to the coffee shop. Could be anything. We have to follow our inspirations is what I believe. With the Hierophant, you have the Hangman here. Yeah, something's becoming clear. It's almost like the universe sees the sacrifice you made, is kind of what I'm getting here. He has put himself in hangman mode, the hangman. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. So he's done this so that he can gain insight as to what his next steps should be. I almost feel like you're being rewarded for some sort of sacrifice you've made. Could have been like a sacrifice at time. Could be anything. But that's that, Aquarius. This actually looks pretty good. I like where it's going. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, and we're going to do kind of like a personalish reading. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your question. I'm just going to do 1 question, and I'm going to answer it as if I know what your question is. So pause it if you're not ready, but you have the 4 cups, 8 of swords, and the 8 of pentacles. I mean, basically the entire reading that I just did, because I feel like this is saying if you're feeling stuck, you have to mix things together with the 4 cups and then put in the work with the 8 of pentacles so that you can set yourself free. I also feel like if you're not seeing, I am getting something here based off of whatever you're asking, that if you're not seeing the progress you want, especially on like projects or business or whatever, I kind of feel like this 8 of swords, 8 of swords is like being up against a wall. And imagine if there was a wall that was only this big, like as big as your face. If you were standing right up against it, you wouldn't know that you could just walk right around it, right? So 8 of swords says that you're probably only looking at one way of doing things, and you need to look at multiple ways of doing things. That will lead to 8 of pentacles, which is future success. So this is a really good reading here, Aquarius, like where it's going. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.